Eu estou aqui para abrir um painel que eu estou muito curioso para assistir, porque, além da temática me interessar muito, são pessoas que eu admiro bastante, que também contribuem para empresas que eu admiro bastante. Então, esse painel, na qual o tema é o papel das Big Techs na formação de profissionais na era da TI, é composto pelo Paul, que vai ser o nosso mediador. Paul é jornalista, ele escreve sobre educação e impacto, e ele tem uma longa trajetória quando a gente fala de repertório em relação a entrevistar e fazer boas perguntas para as pessoas. Então, Paul, vem para cá. Salva de palmas para o Paul, por favor. Segunda pessoa que a gente tem aqui, que vai participar como painelista, através da mediação do Paul, é a Flávia. Flávia é da IBM, tem nossa parceira aqui no Campus Caldeira e no Caldeira, faz bastante coisa no Geração Caldeira, então, por favor. Seja bem-vinda. A Alessandra, que ela vem de Alagoas, eu não sei, núcleo de tecnologias, de excelência em tecnologia, então ela tem um trabalho super legal também, que está muito próximo de tecnologias emergentes, então, salva de palmas para elas, vem conosco. E, por fim, Rodrigo Bessa, da Salesforce, também nosso parceiro aqui no Caldeira, no Campus Caldeira. Seja bem-vindo. Pessoal, o último recado, o painel vai ser em inglês, então alguns de vocês já sabem o esquema ali das telas. É só escanear o QR Code, escolher o idioma. Na verdade, a gente só tem um idioma aqui, que é a tradução de inglês a português, e escutar pelos seus fones. Então, muito obrigado por estarem aqui, e eu volto para fechar com vocês. Bom painel para todos. Paul, please.
Obrigado. I'm Paul. Hello. I'm afraid this panel will be in English. So good to see you all. We're taking on a very big topic. One I'm sure we've all thought about a lot, how to prepare folks for the job market as artificial intelligence and the transformation to that economy begins. But fortunate to have three folks who are working on this as we speak in a big, big way. So we're going to jump right into this, hopefully leave some time for your questions, but very much want to make this conversation. Flavia, I know IBM has been engaged in one of the most ambitious skills development efforts in the world. I believe the goal is to train 30 million individuals by 2030 for free, and that you all have already succeeded in getting more than halfway there. This is the Skills Build program and more. Can you give us just the brief description of that effort and what it entails?
Sure, and I'm afraid that as we already reached the 16 million this year, the target will increase because, you know, when the things happen that way. So it's a pleasure to be with you here this afternoon. I am a super fan of Caldeira, what we are doing here. And Caldeira is part of this 30 million, so I see some students here. You are part of this calculation. Our main aim is to, IBM has this motto that says that we want to be the catalyst that's going to make the world works better. So through my lens, I work for IBM inside the social responsibility department. Through my lens, I'm doing it through education. So I'm putting, and myself, my team, my leaders, we are putting our efforts in develop skills that are, we are used to say skills of the future, but in fact, it's everyday skills, the way that the things are getting better and better, improving in terms of technology. Every day we need to learn something new. So the way we are doing it is through connections. So being here, for me, it's the kind of thing that connects and resonates the most with our goal to train 30 million. So I have connections with NPOs, with governments, with companies, with tech hubs, and our programs are for three kind of personas, I would say. We are working with high school students, we are working with academia students, and also adults. As myself, I'm not under any educational organization at this moment, but I'm still and every day looking for reskilling. So we have programs for this population too. And when I'm talking about high school students and when I'm talking about high school and academia profiles, I'm not talking only about students. I'm also talking about teachers. Our vision is that, I don't know how many of you are teachers, but I am the kind of person that goes to schools. I want to talk with teachers. I want to talk with students to better understand what we can do for them. So one of the pains that we feel nowadays is that these teachers lack completely AI skills, for example. So, and they are some of them are kind of afraid of what's going to happen with my job. So the idea through our programs is also to train teachers, to let them know that, yes, they can use technology to improve AI technology, generative AI, to improve their daily basis activities and give them more time to use for other things. So, and one data that I see that is really important when we talk about this future of job, what's going to happen in the future, IBM made, every year we do this research called CEO survey. We talk with thousands of CEOs all over the globe. And this year, one data for me was really, really impactful. CEOs all over the world, 56% of the CEOs all over the world are saying that they are hiring now for job positions that doesn't exist last year. So there is a sea of opportunity and when you go and look for our data here in Brazil, and we were discussing with our colleagues from Brascom. Brascom is an organization in Brazil that connects technology and communication companies. And they have also the mission to train people. We have 500,000 open positions in IT. So this is the scenario that we understand and we want to support in terms of developing us to be ready for the present, not the future.
Thanks very much for that. So you mentioned your partnerships in this endeavor, academia being one of them. And Alexandra, let's turn to you, because I believe your institution is a partner of IBM in this work. So can you give us a sense of both that partnership and your work more broadly?
So we are not working until now together, but I think we are going to work together. But in the university, we have a group which is more than 1,200 researchers we are connected with more than 40 universities in Brazil and 5 universities around the world. And our focus is how can we use digital transformation for public policies in education, and also how can we use technology and AI to improve learning outcomes in low-income countries. So we have working together with the Minister of Education in so many projects related to data governance in education. And also, we are working with NGOs and other organizations to develop some technologies with AI. And how can we use AI with no bias, though. Where can we use AI where we do not have like connectivity, or we do not have digital competence for the teachers. So how can we use AI in all over the countries, not only in the main cities and where we have all these stuffs. So we develop technology with AI for these communities as well, so you cannot increase the inequalities in Brazil. But one thing that it's very important that Flávia said, that we are working for the present, not for the future, because AI is the new industrial revolution in the world. So we are changing the way that we work, the way that we communicate, the way our culture as well are going to change everything in our lives. So, and one thing that is important, different from the other revolutions, is AI is changing everything very fast. So the first industrial revolution, we took like 100 years to impacting our lives. And AI, it's like 5 years. So ChatGPT has like 100 million people in the platform in just 2 months. So this is huge. And one thing that it's very important when we are talking about how can we prepare our students and all the community to work with AI, because this is something that everyone needs to know, because are going to impact in our lives. And the basic education needs to be prepared for that. And this is something that we are working now. How can we accelerate these learning outcomes, accelerate how we understand AI, so learning with AI and also for AI, about AI, and how can we accelerate these learnings because our students need to be prepared for today, not for the future. So this is one of our goals. And we work a lot with partnerships to connect government, civil society, university, and also NGOs to get these goals, and not only for the high-income countries, but also for low-income countries.
Obviously, very important work, Alexandra. And I think to put it in context, ChatGPT arrived less than 3 years ago. And last week, the CEO of Walmart, which is the world's largest private employer, said every job in the world will change in some way because of AI. So to your point, everyone needs to be prepared to use the tools. So I'm very glad that you're helping to make sure that that is equitably distributed. Rodrigo, Salesforce is a leader not only in AI technology, but also in education and training for technology roles across the world. So you have a very big lens on this. Can you give us a sense of your work right now, where you're most focused?
Yes, thanks, Paul. And I want to say first that it's a pleasure to be here. I love this place. I love the people here. It's a very vibrant place. And I have a great Salesforce team here and also on the floor. So it's a very special moment we're going through in our industry right now. It's basically the third wave of the artificial intelligence. And it always started probably 20 years ago or even more, no? And now we are in the third wave that we call agentic AI wave. ChatGPT 2 years ago became very famous. That's the Gen AI, that's the second wave. And then now we have the evolution of that, which is the third wave, agentic AI. And mostly we are calling this, what's happening right now, it's a labor revolution. Okay, so it's a revolution in the labor market that we call digital labor revolution. So what's going to happen, it's already happened, is that agents, AI agents, is going to work side by side with humans, to succeed and to do their jobs. So as you said, we need to get enabled, we need to get trained to work with these agents as they were our working colleagues, that we have today. It's going to be agents working with us. So it's very important that we enable people, not only in technology, but in human capabilities as well. So every time more we humans, we're going to have to exercise creative thinking, analytical thinking, curiosity. So curiosity is going to be very important for all of us to learn these kind of skills. Okay, so this is all the things that Salesforce and other partners are supporting. The market, and I think the Brazilian market has a huge potential. We are very innovative. We are very disruptive. You can see this by the amount of startups we have in Brazil. And some will say that we have so many startups because Brazil has so many problems and so many challenges that companies are created to resolve those problems. So I love that. It's a huge opportunity. So education is going to be really key from now on. Paul, back to you.
Yeah, and just to Alessandro's point, this is happening now, and I really respect and appreciate Salesforce in being so open about how you're using agentic AI across your company now. So I mean, the agents are part of your work, I'm assuming now, and your colleagues.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're going to work side by side. Some people say, and they are afraid that there's going to happen a reduction in the human workforce. And we don't think this will happen like this. We think like the agents, they will augment, they will amplify the human capacity. And you can see some researches, like for example, I like the CEO study that Flavia was mentioning. And there's other studies, like in the World Economic Forum, there's a study that says, and pay attention to the second part of this, it's more interesting. So first they say 92 million jobs are going to be removed, cut it off, 92 million. So people get very scared of this. And then they say 170 million jobs, new jobs are going to be created. So it's a positive balance of 78, okay? So it's really where we are going through.
I'm glad you bring that up because it's hard enough to not be frightened of the potential as somebody my age, but I can only imagine if you're trying to figure out your career path. I saw the co-founders of Anthropic, Anthropic, Claude, in my country, in Washington, D.C. a couple weeks ago, and Dario Amodei, the CEO, set off a panic really worldwide a few months ago when he said that fully half of office jobs, of white-collar jobs, would vanish in the next 1 to 5 years. And I think Anthropic is a very a good civic player, and at least in the United States is an AI company. So I saw him a couple weeks ago, and they asked him, "Do you stand by that?" And he said, "Yes." But more importantly, he said, "We don't know, but we see the capabilities." And we think because we are creating this technology, it is our responsibility to raise that possibility. And really interestingly, he said we should pay for training, which I not heard many companies say to that. And your two companies are doing that. But yesterday in the United States, there was a big study from Yale University and Brookings that said it hasn't happened yet. The good news is we have not seen major disruption to the labor market, but the one place that we are starting to see, at least in the United States, is people right out of school. There are fewer entry-level jobs in white-collar knowledge economy jobs, about a 13% decline. How do you deal with this tension? I feel like it's really important to be as open as possible with young people, with what is really a moving target, if you know this phrase. Flavia, you are doing this work. It's evolving through Skills Build. How do you deal with the question of augmentation versus replacement? I know that's not an easy one.
We are looking with positive lens. So the message that I just shared, jobs, they are hiring for jobs that didn't exist a year ago. So for sure, the entry positions mainly in technology, and then this is something that I would like to also highlight. We are talking about jobs in tech industry. But when you look at the same World Economic Forum study, if you go to take a look at the jobs most demanding jobs in the future, first positions are not on tech. They will need tech skills, but are not on tech. So it's more on health, it's more on, believe, supply chain, the drivers, truck drivers. It's going to be a lack in, couple of years. So the positive lens, what we are saying, you need, when we're talking about academia students, we are preparing them for the next level. So not junior, but through our projects, we do a lot of capstone projects while we train them so they can validate the knowledge. So they, of course, go through our content, our learning plans, but they also prove the knowledge by creating projects. So when we use educational technologies that put those students in a better level instead of junior position, but now you are prepared. You can go, the first day at the company, you can go and participate on projects that we are delivering to clients when we are talking about technology position. This is where we want our academia students, we want them to be. But we need to be honest with the reality of our country, and in my case, in the reality of the region. When you go and take a look to Latin America, it's almost the same behavior. We need literacy. We are far behind these. When we're talking about junior positions in tech, we are talking about, 1-2% of the mass of people that need jobs. But this is why, in the experience that I had, all these 5 years that I'm working with these programs, is that we should work in a funnel methodology. It's always, there are a lot of people looking for literacy that we can work together with them, train them. And I'm doing this, for example, next week, Bruno, you are going to have the job fair. And we, IBM, we are partnering with you with content, with job offers. So this is how I see that we can, cross these big waves that we have ahead. Training from the basics, working closely with the ones that are going to be at the end of the funnel, I would say, to give them the opportunity to start in a different position.
Really well said. And I think as a journalist, we focus a lot on the scary immediate, but I think most people I talk with think once the transformation, which will happen fast, occurs, it will be more opportunity, truly. Alessandra, you are particularly well positioned here. Obviously, AI literacy and fluency are crucial, but in terms of, as an educator, how do you prepare young people for what we're not sure is coming in terms of core components of their work?
Yeah, so one thing that we could do, because we do not know how are going to be our world in like 100 years or even in 30 years. So we need to prepare our students to be ready for everything. So how can we do that? There is a concept, like a very old concept, not so old, sorry, but from like the 90s, from the 90s.
Well, that was not long ago.
Yeah, not so long. But called like lifelong learning. And we do have like some skills that prepare you for learning for your whole life. So you're not learning just on when you are on the schools or when you are on the on a course from IBM. So how can we know how to learn? So if you develop the basic, like literacy and mathematics, you should develop competencies related to lifelong learning, because you learn how to learn from your whole life, because you not stop to learn when you leave the schools. One problem in Brazil is we do not have the basic skills. So in mathematics, just 5% of our students reach the goal of mathematics in the high schools. So just 5% of our students. So imagine that. So how can we are going to teach about AI? And I think that Flavia used to have a lot of trouble with that in your course because you do not have the basic skills. And so we need to focus in the basic skills like literacy, mathematics, and also how you teaching, how can you teach them to learn from the whole life. So I believe this is the way that we should do. One problem when we talk like primary schools in Brazil and all the public policies in Brazil is that sometimes we lost so many time with something that are not going to impact the education. And one thing that seems like not so obvious, for us it's obvious, but sometimes we develop so many public policies that we do not focus in learning outcomes. So we lost like so many times on that. So we are working together with some other countries. We are working in develops their local public policies in Latin America, and we have huge impact in learning outcomes in literacy and mathematics, and what is very important. And in like 3 months in the implementation programs, you have like a huge impact in learning outcomes. So I think Brazil and Latin America has like a huge challenge, but we also know how to do that. And we learn from the other countries. So I think if we focus on these 3 things, I think we are going to reach our goal.
I'm glad you brought up lifelong learning. In the United States, Georgia Tech University, the Stanford University are both really rethinking education in ways that are pretty exciting. I mean, in the United States, less than 1 in 4 people have a 4-year college degree. So is this an opportunity to give people a chance to break into a good job with a smaller, a bite size, and I like to call it an on-ramp credential, and then continue to work toward both their education while having a job? And I think at Salesforce, I mean, you talked about the opportunity of this moment. Trailhead is about that, is about opening doors for folks who aren't going to the 4-year university path. Do you think AI can help to help make that more of a possibility for more people?
Yes, Paul, that's a great question. So I invite everyone to access Trailhead, trailhead.salesforce.com. It's a very interesting path, learning path you have in there. Okay, so it's interactive. You have gamification. It's really fun, to get your certifications over there. So you can understand most of the concepts of AI and agents, agentic AI, and everything is in there. And I'm very glad to announce, Paul, this week, in fact, today, right now, that we are doing a big investment with Instituto Caldeira. Salesforce is going to invest $250,000 in education in partnership with Instituto Caldeira. So it's going to be thousands of people that are going to have the chance to get trained. That's the first time we do this in Brazil, that Salesforce does this in Brazil. And this started in May when the governor, Eduardo Leite, was there in New York at the Salesforce Tower. And then he was telling us now the willingness now to increase the capacitation and the enablement in the state. And then we raised the case, and we did this, as I said, for the first time in Brazil. I think this is huge. I think it's a huge opportunity. So I'm very, very happy for this. I hope all of you take advantage. I hope all of you invite people people that are starting, people that are eager to learn. As I said, I think curiosity is going to be the real skill that are going to take people further in their career, in the job market right now, because the content is available. You can see content everywhere. So it's about us to go after and chase their content. And I think companies and government institutions, they should help. They should mentor They should be really a good friend of the people of our society. So it's great times are coming, Paul.
Well, I love that he's making news here in this panel. And congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I came down from the United States because I truly feel that Caldera pulls together more people, more stakeholders than any other place I've seen. Certainly in the United States, we don't have this model. Do you feel like through this partnership, you might be building something that could be done elsewhere across Brazil or even beyond?
Yes, I think it's just the beginning. Now we should do across Brazil. Brazil has a huge challenge of productivity, and we know this. If you compare Brazil with other emerging countries, you can take Southeast Asia, you can take whatever, you're going to see the productivity in Brazil is stalled at the lower levels. So AI is here for that. No? So we need to increase productivity. We need to get our people a job. We need to succeed as business, as companies, as society. So I think just taking advantage of all this, Paul, it's very important. So, and in the end, it's about people. So that's why we want to launch this enablement initiative here. It's a massive training initiative. Rio Grande do Sul is going to start this in the Salesforce perspective, but very soon we want to take this all over to Brazil and to Alagoas and to all the places that really we have people there. They want to learn and they need some support. We're going to be there for that.
Well, that's fantastic, and I feel like I'm spotting a trend. I saw Anthropic saying they wanted to invest in skilling in this moment. I know IBM is truly a leader in this, one of the first, I think, big tech companies to do this sort of free training for folks. And when you and I talked before, it's not just offering the content, it's the coaching, the working with educators, the teaching the teachers. Can you give us a sense of what goes into that and the impact of that?
Sure, and yes, you are correct. Just a curiosity, IBM was together with Columbia University in the 50s. We create the first computer science curriculum because we need people to work with the mainframes that were just popping up, and the ones that were working with those machines were statisticians, mathematicians. We didn't have at this point of time a computer scientist, so it's in our DNA. And talking about how we are delivering the programs, yes, we have these what we call guided learning experience. So besides the platform that is IBM Skills Build, as you mentioned before, we have these guided learning experiences. So in 4 weeks or 10 weeks, depending on the availability of the person that wants to go through the learning process, you're going to be guided by an expert on the theme. We are going to be motivated to create your own project using technologies. And for people that is out of education organizations, out of school, the platform uses white label technology. For academia, yes, we use IBM technology, but for the other ones, you can use the most, I would say, famous AI tool or handful tool in the market. So you have opportunity to learn how to create scenes, create prompting, and you learn about prompt engineer to the now agentic AI. So how can I create my own agent to do all the stuff that you don't like to do? So this is another piece of thing that we should have in our minds. Agentic AI is going to be the one that do the tasks that you don't want to do, repetitive tasks, things that are boring. So you can invest our time in creativity, curiosity, creating new stuff. So this is one way, 4 weeks, 12 weeks, 10 weeks, depending on the availability. We also have, one of the things that I also lead is the corporative volunteerism. So we call ourselves IBMers. So we have the IBMers, the network of IBMers mentoring students. So we promote one-on-one interactions to talk about career development, to talk about technology, whatever is the need of the project and makes sense. For example, here with Caldeira, we are working with the Geração Caldeira program. We started with, I don't know, 7,000, 8,000 students, but we are going to focus on 200 that are going to be the ones that are going to be employed in the hub that Caldeira has. With those one, we are coaching them. Not now, but the ones that are here. This time will come because we are still on the learning plan, but by the end, we're going to mentoring in a 101, 1-5 style. This is the things that I have more personalized. But we have, for example, in Latin America, I don't know if you know, but we have this Pedidos Já company that is our iFood. And we are training the drivers with AI because they want them to be the ones that are going to work with their own business. So they want to turn those drivers into entrepreneurs. And we are supporting them with technology training together with Microsoft. So one other message that I want to leave here is that this is not a play of competition. This is a play of collaboration. The more that, because we are talking about the same universe, the same people. So the more we can collaborate, work together, and fill gaps. I don't have Salesforce technology. So we are partnering together to better train people with the things that we can do it better for the students and to prepare better this person for employability. So the thing that is my real dream is the more we can collaborate, the more we can connect our forces to better, to make this what we dream, to make our country better and better and better.
Those are great points. And, I was thinking, obviously, Salesforce, IBM, Microsoft, Google, too, they have, their professional certificates. And one thing I think is really strong, and I want to ask you, Alessandra, I know all of these companies are able to update these tools all the time. And I talked with Google about this. It's constant. What else what are some of the key things that you think big tech can and should be doing to make sure that students have equal access to these tools? You've heard some of them just now.
Yeah. First, I think it's very important, like this big techs working for improving learning, help to the students learning about technology very fast, because the government are not so fast, especially in education. Just for one example, when I don't know how to say that in English, I'm sorry, but lousa em giz, do you know how to say? No. Board. Just in education, to change the board and I don't know the name in English, but
Chalk.
Yeah, chalk. Yeah, we took like 300 years to change it from the board in the class as the main technology in the class. So imagine 300 years. So imagine if you need to wait for the government and educational system to change to be ready for the present as well. So the big techs has a huge importance here, because they can reach the students very fast and improve their competence that need for today very fast. But one thing that is important to consider, we are talking about AI. We know that more than 77% of our students use AI in Brazil. But when we talk to study, but when we talk about the low income areas in Brazil, we are talking just about 34% of the students use AI. and not all of them think that AI is important for them to learning. So this is like a huge gap when we see from different perspectives. So what we are doing, we developed the concept of AIG Unplugged. So how can we achieve these students, give them the opportunity to use AI? Because for you to learn how to use AI, you need to practice. So you need not only know about AI, but you need to know how to use AI and how can you innovate with AI. So we need to give them the opportunity to use artificial intelligence, which I think like ChatGPT and other organizations have them this opportunity. So NIS, and we now have Artificial Intelligence Institute. We are now developing some tools that they can experience AI, students and teachers, and they can use artificial intelligence with no connectivity, with no, they do not need to have like a lot of skills, so the tool is very simple for them, very intuitive, like close to WhatsApp because they know how to use. So when we talk about that, we can like decrease the difference between these two areas. So I believe that this is one of the ways.
Well, thank you for that. And a theme that you've stressed, Alessandra, is speed. And that relates to this because we have run out of time before I even knew it. I'm sorry. But if the speakers can stick around, if you all have questions, please do find them here or in the halls. And I just want to thank all of you for coming. And please thank you to our speakers. Obrigado.
Thank you so much.
Pessoal, nós temos tempo para uma pergunta em português. Maurício não vai. Não, Maurício não vai. Ah, tá bom. Maurício pode perguntar com a gente ali no almoço.
Thanks for this inspirational talk. You mentioned about a platform, but I missed the name.
Okay, I'll give the name. So the name is Trailhead. In Portuguese, início da trilha. So trailhead.salesforce.com. You're going to have a lot of fun there.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Thank you.
Dá tempo para outra, já que essa foi por
Essa foi- vai, this was easy one.
Tem outra? Maurício.
Quem é o Maurício?
Maurício. Aí. Roubaram o jogo.
Portuguese, English,
Spanish.
doesn't
No,
matter.
no.
Spanish. No, I just want to thank you for the session. I work at Salesforce with Bessa. I just want to ask, as you all are in touch with many companies all over the world, and we have young professionals and students here, what you can give as a tip to people, what they need to do and to have to get their first job opportunity.
Well, I know that it's a different time now, but I can talk by myself. Study. You need to be focused on studying, developing. You have the ones that are here that have the opportunity to have, because at my time, in the other century, I didn't have this kind of opportunity. You know, it's a hub. You can make connections. You can know people. So do your part. Study the more that you can, and don't be limited only to the thing that is your passion, because it's easy to study what you love. I used to say that I had a teacher that said to me one time that my vocation will be the thing that I wake up every Sunday wanting to study more. The thing that you want to study on Sunday morning, this is your vocation. But life is not just vocation. So study the more that you can. You are living in a multidisciplinary world, and for me, it's amazing. So do it, make connections, and raise your hand to ask. Don't be shy. Don't be ashamed to say, "Hi, I have something to offer to you," or "I want to share," or "I want to hear from you." My 5th sense.
I think just take initiative. So always do more than you are asked for. So I think just to complement, study and take initiative, talk with the people. If you want a job, talk with the people that you want to work with. We used to receive a lot of resumes in NIS, and some of them talk with me, like send me a message. This is a different thing, so to do. So do that, it's important.
Just want to say that I really think that AI can change everyone's life from now on. So if you take this opportunity, really take this serious, count on help from companies that you trust, and that will certainly change many people's lives. This is going to be huge. And thank you.
Just say use the tools, experiment with AI. Just try it for a few minutes a day. You'll learn more than you think. And thank you.
Great, Paul.